Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're heading right out to the eastern edge of Tokyo.
Yeah, Edogawa Ward specifically.
Exactly, the Mizuho and Shinozaki areas. Now, this is a part of the city that, well, a lot of people might just think of as a commuter town, maybe a bit plain.
That's the common perception. But underneath that, you find really deep history, some serious infrastructure stories, and honestly, some very quirky spots.
It really is a fascinating mix.
It is. And geographically, its identity is all about water. It's tucked right there between the old Edo River and the new Nakagawa River, just south of the Kyoto Road.
So water on both sides, basically.
Pretty much. And the neighborhood we see today, especially around Mizuho Station, it's very planned. Lots of modern infrastructure. That's because of huge land consolidation projects.
Built right on top of what used to be there for centuries.
Exactly. Ancient, water-heavy farmland. That's the foundation.
Okay, so our mission today, let's call it a rescue mission. We're pulling Mizuho out of that, just a suburb box.
Two way to put it.
We want to show you how this place went from being, frankly, quite vulnerable, all those rice paddies, flood risks, to a pretty resilient modern area. And, importantly, highlight some surprising treasures you might find.
Yeah, things for the curious visitor. Definitely historical and maybe unexpected modern things, too.
Let's dive into the history first, because it's literally in the name, isn't it?
It really is. Before the Meiji era, so pre-late 19th century, this whole area was basically one big Sweden chutai,
which means?
a rice paddy belt. Just fields and water, essentially. Agricultural land.
Okay, water world. Got it.
And that directly leads to the name Mizuho. It wasn't just pulled out of thin air. It was created back in 1913 at Taisho 2.
Right, when villages merged.
Exactly. Two villages joined, Mizue Village and Ichinoe Village. They took Mizu from Mizuho and I from Ichinoe, put them together. Mizu.
Ah, clever. And Mizuho itself refers to?
It basically means something like fresh rice fields or abundant rice shoots. It's all about that watery, fertile environment.
So the name is like a historical marker for what the land was.
Precisely. It's a reminder of its agricultural origins. And understanding that water connection is key to everything that came later, including the challenges.
And what's amazing is that you can still touch that past. Despite all the modern building, there's this incredible survivor, the Ichinoe Nanushi Yashiki.
The manor house of the village headman. Yes, it's quite something.
It really puts the scale of change into perspective when you see it.
It does. It's like a little pocket of the Edo period right there. This was the home of the Tajima family. They were the hereditary headmen, the Nanushi, for the Ichino area for generations, starting way back in the early Edo period.
Wow. And the building itself?
The main house you see today was rebuilt around the Anai era, so like the 1770s, which is incredibly old for a wooden structure in Tokyo.
That's amazing it survived.
It is, and it's recognized for its importance. It's a Tokyo Metropolitan Historic Site.
I read something fascinating about how they preserve the roof. It involves smoke.
Yes, the urushi, it's this traditional preservation smoking. They literally use smoke from hearths inside the house.
No way.
Yeah, the smoke permeates the thatched roof, and that naturally protects it from insects, from moisture. It's this really ingenious, sustainable technique from the Edo period they still practice.
That is fantastic, and I heard it's super cheap to visit.
Yeah, admission is just 100 yen. It's incredibly accessible.
Amazing value for such a significant piece of history. Makes you really appreciate the rural administrative past that often gets forgotten in Tokyo's sprawl.
Definitely. It grounds the whole area in that history.
But getting from that era, the headman's manor, to today's Mizuho Station area, that wasn't smooth sailing, was it? This part of Edogawa was pretty remote historically.
Oh, absolutely. One of the least accessible parts of the ward for a long time. And that struggle is actually captured kind of poetically on a monument near Mizuho Station.
Ah, the one with the word kushin.
That's the one. It means great leap or rapid advance. And it's symbolic because the planned modern Mizuho we see wasn't a given. It was a huge political fight.
Really? What was the story there?
Well, it commemorates the efforts of a former ward mayor, Kichi Nakazato. His push was crucial in getting the Toei Shinjuku line extended out to Mizuho.
And that happened in?
1983. That was the key moment. Before Nakazato's intervention, the whole project was apparently at risk of being shelved, frozen.
Wow. So that subway line was the real game changer.
Absolutely. It enabled the big land readjustment projects, the planned streets, the apartment blocks. It basically created modern Mizuho. It wasn't just about commuting. It was about fundamentally reshaping the landscape.
It's funny to think what came before that subway. What was the old transport hub like?
Before the subway leap, the main connection point was the Imai bus terminal near Imai Bridge.
Okay.
That was the end of the line for the old trolley buses. That's how people got to places like Kamaido or Kinchicho.
Trolley buses. How long did they run?
They stopped running in 1952. So there was this older system, then a bit of a gap in terms of major transit upgrades, and then bang, the subway arrives in '83 and changes everything.
Which brings us back to water again. Always water here. Great for rice, but Edogawa Ward has that flood risk, right? Parts are below sea level.
Yeah, about 70% of the ward, actually. It's a constant reality.
So how does that history of water vulnerability shape the modern landscape? They must have serious flood control.
Oh, definitely. Water management is absolutely central. But it's not just about building walls, it's about integrating it. A great example is the Edo River Sluice Gate, the Edogawa Sukumon.
The huge gate structure.
That's the one. Completed back in 1943, so pre-war infrastructure. It has 5 massive gates. At the time, it was apparently called the largest of its kind in the East.
Quite a claim. What's its role today? Still operational?
Oh, yes. Very much operational for flood control. But it's also become a landmark in its own right. People go there just to see it. It's especially popular during cherry blossom season.
So infrastructure becomes a viewing spot. Nice.
Exactly. It shows how functional engineering can also be, well, beautiful and part of the community fabric.
And I like how they didn't just block off the water. They seem to have reused some of the old water channels, that water and green network thing.
That's a really smart piece of planning. They took old irrigation channels, the ones that used to feed the rice paddies.
Instead of just filling them in.
Right. They converted them into Shinsui Ryokudo water-friendly greenways, like the Shinodabori Shinsui Ryokudo. It's about 1.6 kilometers long.
And what are they like?
They're lovely, really. Intimate, tree-lined walking paths. It's this brilliant way of preserving a piece of the area's hydro-history while creating green space for residents. History, infrastructure, quality of life, all linked.
Okay, let's shift to some of the really unexpected finds. The hidden gems that make you go, huh, that's here. Top of my list has to be the Actors Temple.
Ah, yes. Daiun-ji Temple. It's maybe a 10-minute walk from Mizu Station, and it has that fantastic nickname, Yakuza Adera.
Which doesn't mean Gangster Temple, despite how it sounds.
No, definitely not. Yakuza here means actor, the Actors Temple. It's tucked away in a pretty standard residential area, which makes it even more surprising.
And why the name? Because famous actors are buried there.
Exactly. It's the resting place for quite a few prominent Kabuki actors, including multiple generations of the Ichikawa Uzaimon and Nakamura Kanzaburo families, huge names in Kabuki history.
Finding that kind of deep cultural heritage, specifically theater history, in what feels like a modern suburb, that's quite a contrast.
It really is. It shows how these cultural connections can persist even as the neighborhood totally transforms around them.
Okay, from Kabuki history to something completely different. Industrial robots.
Right. The Daido Robot Museum. This one really makes you blink.
Daido, like the drinks company.
Apparently so. The museum focuses purely on industrial robot arms. It's more like an exhibition facility showing off manufacturing machinery.
Not cute little Asimo-style robots, then.
No, definitely not. Think factory automation. Big, complex arms. It's such a specific, almost niche thing to find there.
Especially right near, old temples and quiet houses.
It's a real head-scratcher. But it hints at the diverse, maybe hidden economic layers that exist even in primarily residential areas of Tokyo. An industrial secret hiding in plain sight, almost.
It's history, industry.
Yeah.
We need food. And there's a gem for that, too, right? Fai's Cafe.
Ah, the Oshir Container Cafe.
The stylish container cafe. I love that description.
It really fits. It's this cool little spot, again, tucked into a quiet residential street. And the food is something you absolutely wouldn't expect. Authentic Senegalese cuisine.
Wow. In Mizuho. That's fantastic. What's the must-try dish?
Sources point strongly to the mafe. It's described as this rich, flavorful, peanut butter-based stew, often with lamb or chicken, tomato, onion, that kind of thing.
Sounds hearty. Is it very spicy?
Apparently not overly so. Described as quite mild and accessible, actually. Really comforting, complex flavors.
Okay, Muffet. And you have to have the coffee with it.
You really should try the Café Tuba. It's traditional Senegalese coffee, but it's spiced, often with something called grains of salim or guinea pepper, and usually sweetened.
Grains of salim. Okay, adventurous.
It gives it this unique, warm, slightly spicy aromatic quality. It's the perfect end note to all these unexpected discoveries. Finding that cafe, that food in that location, it just sums up Mizu's surprising character.
It really does. So, wrapping this up for our listeners,
Mm,
what's the takeaway? Mizu and Shinozaki, this whole eastern area.
I think it's a story of resilience, really. You have this very successful, quite deliberate urban planning, especially around Mizu Station, that transformed the area.
The Great Leap.
Exactly. But crucially, it didn't erase everything. You still have these deep pockets of history, the Nanushi Yashiki, the Kabuki graves at Daiun-ji.
And alongside that, these unique modern spots, from robot arms to Senegalese food.
It's managed to balance that leap into modernity with preserving, or at least coexisting with, its past. It feels like a neighborhood that really knows where it came from, even as it built something new.
And connecting back to the very beginning, the water, the agriculture, we mentioned Edogawa Ward is the birthplace of komatsuna, right? Japanese mustard spinach.
That's right, a staple Tokyo green.
So here you have this planned urban district built on old rice paddies, still dealing with water management. And it's the origin point for a major local vegetable.
Which makes you wonder.
Exactly. What else might this unique environment, water-rich, historically agricultural, constantly managing flood risks, yet intensely urbanized? What else might it be quietly growing or nurturing right under our noses in Tokyo?
Could be agricultural, could be cultural, maybe even something industrial we haven't found yet.
That's the question to ponder. What other secrets does Eastern Edogawa hold? Definitely worth exploring more.